Welcome back to the WCBL Season 6, Week 1. And once again, I am up against Nada for Week 1. This season we are doing like an APA style draft. So 3 drafts throughout the season. First off, we'll explain what team I did draft. So I drafted Latias, Togekiss, Cobalion, Miltank, Donphan, Regirock, Leaveney, Rotom Frost, Doublade, Milotic, Darmanitan, and Mega Absol. And my opponent this week drafted Zygarde 50, Deoxys Speed, Tornadus Fairy, Mega Scizor, Swampert, Mimikyu, Emboar, Gengar, and Rotom. So a very scary team. Of the mons I drafted, I decided to bring Mega Absol, nicknamed Sagittarius. 220 speed is enough speed to outspeed. Hold up. Need to pull up my notes. It was to outspeed. Mimikyu. Max speed Jolly. Enough special attack to be able to knock out the Mega Scizor with a Fire Blast after rocks, or what's it called? Rocky Helmet chip, if it is max HP, max Spadef boosted nature, and then the rest into attack to get a lot of damage off. Also, I believe it guarantees knockout Mimikyu after its disguise is broken with like a Sucker Punch or a knockoff if it is not using its Z Crystal, because Mimikyu and Gengar and Rotom on our team were her Z users, while mine were Togekiss, Cobalion, Leaveney, and Rotom Frost. But anyways, Ice Beam there for the Zygarde. And like I said, also helps cover switch-ins such as Tornadus Fairy or Rotom. Fire Blast also hits that Rotom, and the Mega Scizor, like I said previous. So this is a good offensive threat against her team. The next mon I decided to bring was Virgo, the Togekiss, leftovers, Serene Grace, obviously Fire Blast, Air Slash, Roost, Toxic. Once again, Fire Blast for that Mega Scizor. But with this bread, I do outspeed Mega Scizor. And if it is max attack adamant, I can take a Bullet Punch and rocks from full, which is real nice. And then obviously Air Slash is nice to flinch the slower things such as Emboar, and I guess Mega Scizor and Swampert. Toxic's there if I want to predict the switch in of something that would like to resist my moves, maybe Bulky Torrent. This with Roost as well can stall out the Torrent as long as it doesn't have Toxic. And yeah, real nice bring on my part. Then I decided to bring Cancer, the Latias, Custody Berry, enough speed to once again outspeed the Mimikyu. Side Shock, Hidden Power Fire, Draco Meteor, Calm Mind. With this offensive spread, Side Shock can 2-hit KO Mimikyu once its sub or disguise is broken. Hidden Power Fire, obviously for the Mega Scizor at +1, I will be able to knock it out. I believe even if it's max Spadef, I think, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong on that. And then Draco Meteor just for the hard-hitting move that will be able to knock out Zygarde if it is brought. from full. And yeah, and then I decided to bring Aries, the Leaveney, Focus Sash, Swarm, X Scissor, Sticky Web, Knockoff, Leaf Blade. This is so that if she brings something like Zygarde or Gengar, that's heck, even Mimikyu. Those three mons I really would like to slow down so that even my Togekiss could outspeed them and possibly flinch them with air slashes. Also, Focus Sash is nice if that Mimikyu gets out of hand. I could bring it in and knock it out then, since I would be able to live with my Focus Sash. Same with, well, not really with Zygarde, but also really good bring if she decides to bring Swampert, which so far and my later mods do not really deal with. Knockoff to get rid of those items, which is real good. X's are really helpful for the Deoxys speed. Moving on, I brought Pisces, the Melodic, max defense, max HP, Flame or Marvel skill, Scald, Ice Beam, Recover, Haze. This is so that if she brings something like Set Up Zygarde or Mega Scizor, I can deal with them even if like Mega Scizor is Spadef. And if Zygarde is a subset, Haze goes past that, so that's real nice. And yeah, basically trying to stall things out. Possibly get Scald Burns. And last but not least, I am bringing Capricorn, the Donphan, Rocky Helmet, Sturdy, Rapid Spin, Ice Shard, Earthquake, Stealth Rock, max HP, max attack. And then the rest into defense. This is just so that I could break subs on Zygarde if it is not the coil set. As well as Ice Shard is really useful for possibly getting rid of Mimikyu if it is on a sliver of health. As well as get Rocky Helmet Chip on the Mimikyu, make a Scizor. And yeah, and the Emboar as well. Maybe you want to put some in defense so that I could take hits from Emboar, but I'm like, no, let's not. And make a Scizor. And yeah, that was my team. So let us get into the battle. So this is what we have. Like I said, my team, and then she decided to bring the Deoxys Speed, Tornadus Varian, Emboar, Mega Scizor, Mimikyu, and Rotom Bow, which is kind of what I was expecting. Maybe Gengar over Mimikyu. Force that speed tie with the Lottie if she wanted to. And yeah, so I am kind of expecting a hazard setting Deoxys to be her lead. Most likely Focus Sash. So I decide to lead off with my Donphan because it is my hazard removal, as well as I know I can take it out with an Earthquake and an Ice Shard. So first off, I go for the Earthquake, trying to take whatever damage, or if she wants to switch out. And I do knock it down into Ice Shard range, which I switch out because I was expecting either the switch or to stay in and go for hazards or something, as maybe like a sack. So I go into my Mega Absol, and this is kind of where I make my first mistake. I decide to go for Fire Blast, kind of hoping that she was not max HP, max Pdef, and even then it was a small chance to knock out Oko with Fire Blast. I probably should have gone back into my Donphan to get that Rocky Helmet chip. but then it would be knocked out to the U-turn. So maybe not a good play, but yeah. I go for the Fire Blast, and I do not knock it out, and I lose my Sagittarius to the U-turn. She goes back into Deoxys Speed. I bring back my Donphan, and I go for the Ice Shard, knocking it out. She goes back into Mega Scissor. I'm running. I now know it's max HP, max def, so I figured the rest might be in defense, and at this range, I do not knock it out because I got sort of a low roll with my Sagittarius, my Mega Absol. So that is real unfortunate that I cannot knock it out with Ice Shard, which does like 4.5 to 5.1 or something like that damage. So really wanted it to be down at the 4% or 5% range. But I am forced to switch out, allowing it to get a Roost off, but this is fine because that means I know it probably won't go for knockoff, so I can get the Flame Orb off on my Melodic. And right here, I just decide to try and get the Scald Burn. No Scald Burn because never lucky. I never get Scald Burns. Knowing this is a threat and most likely going to want to Volt Switch out, I go into my Donphan. And just like I predicted the Volt Switch, knowing it has Leaf Storm and probably not Choice, I go into my Togekiss, and whoop-de-doo, predicted it right. However, White Herb, so I'm like, oh gosh, it can freely just go for another Volt Switch. Let's go back into Donphan as she goes for the Volt Switch, which is real nice. I go for Ice Shard, expecting for another Volt Switch. And yes, I got that again. Go for another Ice Shard, expecting another Volt Switch because that is kind of how my mindset is. Like, I would totally do that, either that or even if she goes for the Leaf Storm, she would be at -2 then, and then I could go into something like my Lottie and set up a Calm Mind, which would be real nice, which she does. And right here, I was thinking she would probably go for a Leaf Storm. Kind of not expecting anything else. But I decided I would like to sack it off and get some extra damage on it. But probably my better play here probably would have been to go back into my Togekiss then if I was expecting that. Yeah, kind of make a few small mistakes here and there. It's a new season, still rusty. Haven't been playing Mons that much. But I do go for the Ice Shard, and that allows my Mega Scissor to come back in, which is no bueno. And yeah, just decide to let it go down to U-turn. I was just going to go for Rocks there. Possibly if she decided to Roost, because Rocks would be nice for that Torn T. And to possibly get a little chip onto Mimikyu. But that is not the case. So then I decide to go into... Oh, she goes into Emboar. And this is where I make my biggest blunder. Expecting it to be like Banded, Life Orb, maybe Choice Scarf. I go into my Leavanny to knock it off, which is a super huge mistake because it is actually bulky with leftovers. Probably should have gone into my Togekiss expecting Bandit or Life Orb and try and flinch it. I didn't know why I thought of this at the time, but I choked hard here going into Leavanny since like I said in my team builder, a good way to check Mimikyu, which he still has around. And yeah, so there goes my last check to Mimikyu, since the Donphan and my Mega Absol are gone with the priority. as well as the Rocky helmet on Donovan. And I lose this for what? Getting rid of leftovers on Embor, which is really bad. So this is basically where I knew I kind of lost. But I was going to bring down differential, so go for the Shy Shock. Take that out. Side Shock to break this, since I know even if she sets up a sword stance, I can take one with my Kesselberry at this range, and I am trying to bring this down. Side Shock, not a 2-hit, because she has some HP Spadef investment, which is really unfortunate, because I either would have been knocked out there and she wouldn't have gotten to +3. And yeah, so goes for the Never Ending Nightmare, takes out my my Togekiss, which is real unfortunate. If I had those rocks up, would have been done as well, which is really unfortunate. And yeah, this is basically my end. Thought she would have brought like Z Woodhammer for this Milotic, but does not even have Woodhammer. And I do take it out, but she still does have that Rotom-Mow, which will come in and finish me off. So yeah, hopefully next week, as I take on Marina and the Washington Red Shells, I will not choke again, because I probably had a good chance of winning this if I did not go into my Leavanny at that point, or at least would have been a lot closer, maybe like a 1-0, 2-0. But yeah, so starting off the season a bit roughly, but hopefully with this decent team, I can pull off the win next week and the week after that. So I can at least go 2-1, hopefully, and then get another draft going, which I do have a few ideas for that, and hopefully do well with that draft, and then the draft after that, and make playoffs. So thank you for watching, and catch you next time. Bye bye.